I went live just a minute ago, but I lost connection, so I had to delete and start all over. I was gonna, coming from Jared's live with Christian Homestead, and just made me think of some of the things I wanted to cover. One of those things being miracles are in the timing, and I want to share some experiences of how it was like that for us recently. We've been seeing a series of little small miracles where the timing was just perfect. Um, One example is we had our house on the market and we were trying to sell and we couldn't, and we're becoming discouraged. So we actually took our house off the market but left the sign up. So that way maybe we could reset it and we'll post it back up uh, right before winter hits. And if that doesn't work out, then we'll just have to wait till next spring. Um, and so there's a lot of discouragement. There's a lot of all this effort we did into preparing. We searched different states, different places to move to, different areas. Heck, we went to North Carolina, Tennessee, and Missouri. We looked at Independence, Missouri area until we came down to Springfield and said, okay, this is the place. And even there, uh, we had to we found a we ended up finding a house in a place that we were not exactly looking, but it ended up being the perfect place. I'll look at this real quick. Tyson Price live in Sandy, Utah, about 10 miles south of downtown Salt Lake City, Utah. So you get to see when the Olympics come in and the temple renovation. Um, One of the things I'd mentioned in Jared's video, it's something I've mentioned many times here, is a lot of people are looking at the construction of, or the fixing up of the Salt Lake Temple as a timing thing of when Christ will return. And again, the miracle is in the timing. However, the thing that President Nelson drew our attention to when he did talk about the Salt Lake Temple, and he referenced the temple in Bountiful among the Nephites. And so I've been trying to look at parallels between those things. One thing I've noticed is that in the Book of Mormon, you see all the Nephites were mournful, sorrowful because all the calamities they had just witnessed, all the things that they had just gone through. Yet they all gathered together in a center place, a gathering place, the temple. You know, significantly the place where those who let God prevail in their lives, Israel, uh, go and gather together and gather under covenant, unified. They were there repairing the temple at Bountiful. And so Christ didn't come when the temple was complete, but only when they found joy despite the hardship. It's only when they started finding joy and they're gathered together, working together to reconstruct the temple. And then the Lord came down to his temple. Not before it was all fixed. Let's see. Tyson Price, Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Ghost, and our loved ones beyond the veil in the spirit world love you and are your best friends and angels. You will always have. Smile and be happy. Always happy. Right? Finding joy despite tribulation, despite difficulties. So the miracle is in the timing. Lots of people are looking at the construction of the temple and thinking, oh, it must be until after that happens. However, Christ didn't wait for the construction to be completed on the Bountiful Temple for him to come. Why would he do that for the Salt Lake Temple? The miracles I ran into was when we were looking for a house, ended up being in another small town, bigger than where I am now. And it was uh, the perfect house. It was very large, has all the things I wanted, all the things my wife wanted, all the things the kids want. Heck, there's a creek in the back with little minnows for fish that we could gather and go fishing with to catch bigger fish. Chicken coop, everything we ever could possibly want. Things perfect for our homeschool, all the room we need. And so it was perfect, but it wasn't the area that we were exactly looking at. But once we got there, we realized it was perfect. Um, and so we made an offer. We made an offer on the house, and we were told that these sellers, they've actually rejected offers in the past. Um, and so the last time they rejected an offer was they said that they received the offer, they went home and prayed about it, and then rejected it. And their thinking, or what their answer was that they had to reject it and hold off for another family. Here we come, make an offer, they accept. And we're like, oh my gosh, what an amazing Christian community out there. And we we then learn from one of the realtors, well, those sellers for that house, they're part of some weird religion, like sister wives kind of thing. They're like, you mean they're Latter Day Saints? Yeah, yeah, they're that. And we're like, so are we. So is our realtor. In fact, our realtor is the realtor the church uses in Springfield. And so so yeah, so are we. And it was funny that it all came full circle, and then our house ended up being like 5 minutes away from the church building. It's just perfect. Um, so the miracle was in the timing, because we had to get an offer for our home here in Idaho, and the people who wanted our house, like, really want it. Their family is in our ward. Um, and they said it's exactly what they've been looking for. It's just the timing had to be perfect for everybody. Despite us getting discouraged and thinking, oh man, it's not going to happen, we thought that this was perfect for us. And then we were told that the ward members out there are praying for people to move out there, and that these areas are splitting. Heck, the Springfield Temple lot, which I've been to before, um, I guess there was something passed with the city where now they've approved an expansion of the road leading up to the temple. So that's exciting. We're it's the city is working with the church on this, and it's going to beautify the area so much more. So we're very excited. Now the miracles we had was in the timing for all of that, for this family moving in here who really want our house, and for us going to this next house. And the people were empty nesters. They don't even live in the house. They moved to Arizona to be with grandkids. And so it's just they're waiting. The other miracle we had was now we have to get down to business. We have to get everything ready for the to move. And so we had already put many things in storage ahead of time, um, and packed a lot of things ahead of time, hoping that it would sell quickly. However, our car needs maintenance. We live in the middle of nowhere, so we're planning on me taking the car in for maintenance, um, which is about an hour drive into town. And I have 4 kids, 4 small kids. So we thought, should we have family come up, from a couple hours away and watch the kids? And that's what they decided they wanted to do. However, I was like, got up one morning, I'm like, no, I gotta go get the car fixed right now. I'll take the kids with me. And we went, got it done. Everything, timing was perfect. Um, got the van brought in and said, how long is it going to be? They're like, well, you're the first ones in. It's going to be like an hour, 15, hour and a half. So I said, perfect. So I took the kids. I said, we're going to go for a walk. We'll go get some lunch at McDonald's. And the walking would take just long enough that by the time we get back, the car would be done. And everything went perfect. The kids were well behaved, despite, many of them, or 4 of them, ages 8, 7, 5, and 2. But then we got back and they said, actually, we can't start your car. And after you left, we realized we couldn't get the car started. So basically, the car died as soon as I parked it at the garage, and I had no idea anything was wrong. Well, we had the check engine light, and it was really due. Yeah. And it's a 2015 Honda Odyssey, so it needs some maintenance. So what ended up happening is found out the alternator went out, and it went out perfectly right as we pulled into that garage. And so the miracle and the timing, despite the hardship, there was still a miracle to be had. And it was, if I had just used that car one more time and did not take it to the garage, we would have been stranded. Would have cost us a lot more money. It would have been a lot more time. But everything worked out perfect. Despite something bad happening, there was still miracles associated. So I think that is amazing. The fact that the people who we bought our house from prayed and had the impression that they cannot sell the house to the previous people who made an offer, but when we made an offer, they said yes, because they felt another family was supposed to come. And then that being us, it really validates all the searching, all the praying, all the research, everything we've done for the past year. It's validating. It's making us feel far more confident, because I feel like I'm doing the right thing. I feel like I'm following promptings as I see them and understand them and feel them. And everyone else is kind of questioning it. And I'm like, gosh, I feel like I'm doing what is right. And so when all of this happened, we learned people were praying for this. It was also validating that, even your loved ones can gaslight you. you know, but the fact that this all turned out exactly perfect, you have no idea the type of relief and self-doubt that gets rid of. When we see that this is a miracle, not just for me, not just for my family, but it was so intertwined with so many people that were also praying and seeking a miracle. And this worked out all for the mutual benefit for all of us. And despite us all, feeling doubt and anxiety over it, and going, oh my gosh, it's taken a long time. And I imagine it's this way with the second coming as well. There's a lot of people who are doubting that, is it not going to come? Is it not going to come? The timing is absolutely perfect. The timing for everything was perfect. The timing for the Savior coming. The timing of Abraham, Jacob, Joseph, Moses, Jesus. The timing for everything. Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon. At no other period of time could the Book of Mormon have come forth in the way that it did. Right when the printing press has been invented and brought to the area, right when the Erie Canal is carved out, giving a clear trade path. Right at the emergence of this nation, and going through the growing pains and the difficulties of constitutional law being violated. The fact that Missouri, up until the 70s, had a kill order on Latter-day Saints, on us. The timing is everything. The winding up scene that we're seeing, all these Kirtland properties, Nauvoo properties, coming back into the hands of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The other branches of the restored church, which stayed behind and paved a path for Latter-day Saints to return in mass like we're doing right now. Where I'm going in Springfield, that area is splitting like crazy. Wards are being divided because they're getting so many people, they have to redraw boundaries. This is a good problem to have. All right, we got some gracists in the chat. People who they're gracist. Tyson, just in case, I'll ask, do you know anyone with the last name of Yorkman, Price, Fife, Bills, Meek, York, or Fogel? I expect many of those names are pioneer names. So the Valley, all through Idaho, from Idaho Falls through here in Malad to Cache Valley, down into further down into Utah into Salt Lake. Those names are everywhere. In fact, many times you could look at somebody's face and you could kind of tell, oh, you're from that family. Some of these families, these early polygamous families, you could sense a twinge of inbreeding. I feel like I'm not from a pioneer family. Well, I guess now that we've done family history, we found branches of our family that were LDS, and since my parents converted, due to Donnie and Marie Osmond and their family values, my parents converted, my grandparents did, and my aunts and uncles, and then people on both sides of my family. And my mother's side of the family is all Freemason, and they're very Christian. Many of them came into the church, and not. I don't think it was because of us. I don't know, but it's amazing to see how one branch of a family comes in to the church, and all of a sudden, all these other branches start returning or coming back in. Man, we got lots of haters, lots of gracists in the chat. Thank you for your support. It's okay. I forgive you because I follow Jesus. So that is the miracle of the timing. Timing. We tend to think. I tend to think things very practically. Uh, the the miracles that even Christ did. There's a practical element to them, as well as manifesting the power of God. Um, raising a girl, and saying, "Hey, give her some food. She's going to be hungry." Of course she is. She was dead a minute ago. We have the Red Sea, the parting of the Red Sea. Now the thing is I've spoken with Dr. David A. Folk. He's a biblical Egyptologist. I would put as the foremost expert when it comes to the Exodus. He is my most trusted source I look to. Doesn't mean he has everything right, or everything is perfect, but I think he is more correct than people like Associates for Biblical Research. I trust his analysis of ancient Egypt and the Bible. And there's a lot of things he would actually agree with us on that he doesn't really realize. But then there's also things that we doctrinally just have differences on. But he's the person I look to for all things ancient Egypt and the Bible. And he shared about the Red Sea and the parting of the Red Sea and how that had practical elements to it, and timing of the sea receding. That is something that probably happened, from time to time, but specifically this timing wasn't due to man's knowledge. It was, God prompting Moses, saying, "Go to this specific place and then cross here. Do this." So I believe that there is a miracle, which to me is like a fulfillment of a higher law, a heavenly law, even. And so it's a fulfillment of a great law, even if it's beyond our mortal understanding. Um, but also has practical elements to it. That's personally the way I see it. And I think calibration, happy birthday. And I personally think that in the future, miracles may seem so common that it will just it'll come off practical to us. Like today, we have wonderful miracles. We can cross the planet and country. We go to a different planet if we wanted. Go to the moon. Go into space. We could fly. These are miracles that would surpass the understanding of our ancient ancestors. However, that's so common to us now. I believe it's going to be like that as we enter into the millennium and Christ returns in power and glory. Anyways, I hadn't done a video for a while. I thought I'd share a little bit about that. Some of the miracles that led up to everything. It's not just miracles for me and my family while everyone else gets screwed over or anything like that. It was mutually beneficial for everyone. And it took us to a brink of questioning ourselves. People were telling me, well, maybe you're not supposed to move, or things like that. And I'm like, no, I feel like I am, and I feel like it's here. And I studied it out a lot, prayed about this a lot, I fasted about this a lot, and you have no authority to tell me, that for you. But for me, I know this. And now we have some validation. Now we've seen the miracles play out for multiple parties. And if even any one of us was not participating in that miracle making, that prayer, that earnestness and pursuing and preparation, it probably would have failed. So I think this is a reminder for all of us to not give up, to be faithful without knowing the full reason why sometimes, and continue until further light and knowledge does come. And that's a message I like to give nearly almost all my videos is to continue forward and be faithful. There's lots of people who leave the church. If you haven't seen it, I do have an Instagram now and TikTok and a Facebook group. The links to those things are in the description of this video. I make a lot of funny memes, a lot of shorts and things like that. And some of my videos, like on Instagram, get pretty big out of nowhere. They get a lot of gracists, like some in this